Yes, this is episode 24.
What?
Graphic content. Yes, episode 24. This is the episode where me and Boston Chris leave and the kids take over. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Even though we probably have 1,000 subscribers. Hello.
Hi. I always wanted to be on YouTube.
You've been on YouTube a few times.
Hi.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think she's been on a live show yet. Oh, actually, maybe she has. Yeah, she has. But she's been on church a bunch of times. But I don't think she realizes it's live. But whatever. Wouldn't her. Those are all. It's like Mystique. She got a whole bunch of cameos, and I guess today is her actual first appearance, according to her.
First full appearance today. I'm trying to find something, but you know what? I'll find it later. Graphic content, episode 24. We're going to talk some Supes. I got the picture pulled up for that. Talk some other news about Superman. Also some renews of extra, episodes, seasons, or whatever you want to call it. I got a couple of hauls. Chris has any hauls he want to show, but it's just basic talk, pop culture, our thoughts about what's going on, of any news. Stuff like that. So that's what you can expect today. We might have a guest pop up, if they want to. I did put it in the Hunt chat, so if any of those guys are available and they want to jump on, they're more than welcome to. Besides that, Chris, what you got going on, man? Everything been good, man?
Yeah, I've been doing all right. Let's see. It wasn't last Saturday. It was a week from Saturday. A week ago from the last Saturday. There was a pretty fun comic crawl with the guys from 3 Men in the Basement and a bunch of other people. I would say in and around Massachusetts and Connecticut. So I got to go ahead and hang out with those guys and go to a couple of shops I've never been. And one of the shops that we went to, all the shops are really cool. The first one we went to, I've been following them on Instagram ever since they started the crawl and everything like that. And this shop apparently, since we went, has been blowing up. Like, people bring them collections. Literally, it seems like at least two. I'm like, oh. And the craziest part about the shop is that they're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for specific times. I think the guy said he's like we're open a total of I think maybe like 8 hours a week. He's like, and then because they do it as a side job, so they're basically able to do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then just the rest of the week that they're closed, and they just keep getting collections. So it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you are in and around that shop, and you have the time to go, like, the digging is going to be incredible right now, just because, they just keep getting new stuff over and over again. And I think the most recent collection they got was mostly action figures, but I've seen them get at least 3 or 4 collections in the past 2 weeks. So,
well, that's the time y'all went.
Yeah, it was stacked with a lot of good stuff when I went. I was actually surprised, that they had a room of books that was just books that were either $2 or $1, and like the stuff that I pulled out of there, which it wasn't anything earth-shatteringly great, but it was just like to sit there and be like, oh, this was sitting in there, really, for like $2, and it was in good shape. I was like, wow, it's just like these guys, that they're all about giving deals, and they know what they're doing. So
that's the best shops you have a lot of fun with. Like, people actually give deals and stuff like that. Was it's when you don't have the ones with deals.
Relax.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No, she's playing with my mother in the other room, but she's just hitting the high notes now, and I'm just like, all right, calm down.
She's getting excited.
Yeah, no, well, that's how she always plays. Like, she plays a game on her iPad, and it's like some Roblox game. She'll be with her friends, and they just you would think someone's getting murdered in the next room. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, we're just playing Roblox. Like,
playing Roblox. Yep, my daughter has Roblox too. I'm gonna have to give you my daughter's name on that so they can play. We'll do that later. But I want to show this off. I know nobody's watching currently, but I know people to rewind. This is 2 of the books for the Super Chat channel member giveaway. First Shuri, first Kevin. Not first Kevin, but Kevin Eastman signed, actually triple signed, Last Ronin, Lost Years. So both of these books are on the giveaway. And it ends, I think, what I said, February, March, April. I think end of April. So
Nice.
if you want to join for that, more than welcome to. Also, Susie Q is in the house.
Susie.
Thank you for joining, Susie Q. Please smash that thumbs up button as well. I forgot to say that to people, but let's just jump into it. I just want to show. To sidetrack while I'm thinking about it, before we just jump into the Superman Legacy logo and talk about the DC stuff. I don't know if this is good news for me. It's good news for me, but I got notified my second batch of, I think, 4 books got finally received at CGC from Captured Collectibles that got signed at MegaCon. Like I said, from MegaCon, if that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So those finally got dropped off. I don't know where yours are on track.
Oh no, I got mine. Mine are all set. Like, I got mine.
Oh, okay. Like they grading them and stuff right now?
Huh?
No.
Like I physically have them. Like they sent them.
I didn't know. All right.
Yeah, I got them. I actually got them the day before the comic crawl or whatever. So I remember I said that. I said to Amazing Murphinita and a couple other people, I said, you can stop mocking me now. I got my books back. So, because that was all the thing. Because every time they'd be sitting there having a group chat, and we go, we could have sent our books off like Chris did and never got them back again. I was like, all right. And then now they're back, and they're like, oh, you get your books back? I'm like, yeah, you can stop mocking me now. And I showed them, and they're just like, oh.
Hey, I'm happy you got them back. So I guess people better watch out on the hunt. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, so that's gonna be. I can't wait to see those. I think they're gonna be played probably this weekend, this Friday. So
we'll see.
You might see some of those.
I have I'm not sure what I'm gonna do as far as that is concerned. Just because the fact is, taking on Cali for the World Championship. So I have no idea. What
I can tell you, I'll give you a little hint, and I know Callie watches the stuff show because he does freaking homework on everybody, stuff. I actually don't have any new books even in the pipeline, even a month from now. So, whenever I battle anybody, I'm like, well, yeah, it would be actually not a month, it'd be 3 weeks from now. I don't have really no new material unless I get surprised. So
yeah, like I have stuff. It's just that it's just gonna be kind of a play it by ear type situation. Just because I don't really know, what he's gonna have. So it's just gonna be do the best I can. That's about it. But that logo is. That logo.
That's the logo, man. That's the logo. That's the logo reveal.
It's weird. Just because it's the it's just the S.
Isn't it from the Alex Ross run where he what run was that? Superman is in the front, but it looks similar to that symbol.
Yeah,
like Alex Ross did. But that was older. But wasn't that an older Superman like for that? Like I don't know. I didn't like it. Now D. Runk did his own rendition, and he changed a couple of colors. And I liked how D. Runk did it, but because it played better with the color change. But I'm not digging this logo.
Well, it's not quite the S.
It's not that I hate it. It's not that I hate it, but I'm not in love with it.
Yeah, no, like the S. I mean, normally you're used to like there's a logo that's down the bottom in black, and then the one that's on his cape. Like the bottom 3 logos. The one next to James, the one in the middle where James Gunn is sitting next to. Yeah, that one where you have the yellow S, and then you have the black the black background. That one. No, you just scroll up from it. It's right next to the James Gunn one, and then there's another one right next to it where it's just It's just a normal, like that's more what you're used to. This thing doesn't quite look like Superman. It's just it's
It looks
like
like
the
an
S didn't
Elseworld,
blend into the
almost like an
diamond like that.
Elseworld. Isn't it like a Elseworlds, man, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Like this is the one I was talking about. This reminds me of this one, the Alec Ross drawing of Superman, but he put black in it instead of yellow on Alex
Yeah,
Ross.
I've seen something that's like that because I want to say actually yeah so like that Kingdom Come one that so
Yeah, that's it. The Kingdom Come one. Yeah,
yeah like that looks kind of like that, and I mean I'm not against it. I just think that I mean that might give you a little bit of an idea maybe where he's kind of going with the story a little bit. If he's going with the Kingdom Come Superman, and I don't know if he's going to go specifically with that, but I mean the logo is just it's different. It's not it's not the same. So but I'm not gonna get caught up in a logo and be like, oh, this movie's gonna suck because the logo is not.
no. Yeah, it's different. It's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah.
Just like the actors and actresses that are new in this movie, it's gonna take
Yeah.
some getting used to. Um, do I think overall will it be shot well? I think so.
Yeah. It's just
But
gonna be a real. It's gonna be a
I don't,
real departure, though. I think. I mean, just because
yeah,
it's gonna be a more. I think it's gonna be more of a test of James Gunn, just because he's, he had always worked with characters, as far as Marvel was concerned, and then even Peacemaker. That you can kind of bring some of the
he
funny
with a
side of
lot
it.
of what you call it,
Serious in that.
not like side characters. He never
Yeah.
really worked too mainly with big main characters with
Yeah.
Marvel. None of the Guardians were main characters. Even
Yeah.
their
Exactly.
villains weren't main characters. What did he do anything else with Marvel besides Guardians?
I
I
mean,
don't think so.
he did like executive producing on Infinity War and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah, but yeah,
that
he wasn't telling the Russo brothers shit. So
yeah. No, you know what I think? Although I think that the comedy element that you'll find that he always kind of finds with those characters is going to be Clark Kent. I think Clark Kent is probably going to be a funny, just thinking by James Gunn's style, he'll be a funnier version of Clark Kent. So like he might crack a joke or two, or just put himself,
look at that.
just put him in awkward situations where it's like, oh, like, and his reaction to it might be a little bit different, and funny. I don't think Superman's going to be too comical and everything like that, but I definitely give it a chance. I'll tell you right
But
now, the soundtrack
but
is going to be.
I want to say this. Yeah, I want to say this real quick though. People in the chat are, if you watch this later, let us know what you guys think. I'm
Yeah,
curious because I haven't talked to everybody, and I know a lot of different people watch this at different times because I always see like 60 to 100,
yeah,
and then also on the playback. But let me know in the chat if you guys currently are here, if you guys like it, dislike it, or what your thoughts, and people can leave comments on it because
yeah,
I'm very curious to see what other people know. Like, I mean, because it's easy to talk to people you know, but
yeah,
people who you don't talk to every day is. I'm very curious to if it has it grown on them, has it grown away from them.
yeah,
But yeah, it's not. I'm not like you said. I'm not gonna go crazy against the logo. What's up, Kenneth? Smash that
yeah,
thumbs up button, Kenneth. I'm not gonna go crazy about disagree, but I have to see
yeah.
it.
You really
All
can't.
we seeing is like basically a
It's just
AI
it's a logo.
rendition. I
That's
would
it.
say that's probably
Yeah,
what it really is.
and that's about it. Like you can't really tell from a picture, like, oh, this movie's gonna be phenomenal. Or it's gonna suck. But it just it is what it is. And some people are gonna have problems with the logo. Like that's not Superman's logo. But yeah, just give it a chance. You see, it's probably gonna be a decent
To
movie.
me, DC has other problems they need to worry about than people argue about a logo and stuff
Well,
like that. They need this movie to be good.
yeah. Well, and the other thing I can
This is
say,
gonna be
I don't know about
the
I don't know what it necessarily like. I'm not saying whether it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. I do know the one thing that will be top notch, just because of James Gunn and what he, how he makes the movies. Is like the music that they use in the movie. Unless Warner Brothers steps in and wants them to use a lot of unless Warner Brothers isn't into licensing a lot of music, if they make them use just a lot of like orchestral type stuff, then all right, it might not be the but if they let him do what he was doing with the Guardians and stuff, like the music that they use is going to be done well because he always does very good with the licensed music they let him have in those movies to kind of help that tell the story or set the mood for the different scenes and everything. So that part should be great.
So, but also there's something recently I think came out today. Staying on the DC train, Superman Legacy, and I don't think I think DC in general won't be at San Diego Comic Con, so they won't be promoting this movie or anything else, future projects at San Diego. I mean, my thoughts on it: they need to be there. They need the press. The reason why I say they need to be the press and need to be there is because I could, if my wife was more into, like, my wife is semi into movies, but if my wife was more into it, I know she would go. Well, I would take her to like Superman Legacy, and she'd be like, "Hey, what happened to the other guy?" And then she'll have like a lot. I put like this, my significant other, my wife, but or other people's significant other who's not into this stuff, but who have seen stuff, they're gonna have a lot of questions. And I think you can have a little good press promoting stuff would help answer some of these questions. Um, that's just my thoughts on that because the 99% of the people who are going to see this movie have no idea what's going on with DC. They don't know, they see another Superman movie, but they didn't expect to be a reset, and so it's gonna be a lot of stuff that they're gonna have to explain. That's why I said this movie has to be like really really good. But I think skipping San Diego is, I mean, you don't have to go do a full fledged like they used to do back in the day, but to me, you should have some kind of footprint. Some kind of footprint.
I wonder if it's just because they're missing stuff. Like, I wonder if it's like I don't want to say missing things, but like I wonder if it's just because of the fact that they are starting to work on stuff and maybe they don't have a lot to show yet. They don't have a lot that's like to enough to make like trailers or at least even like real teases, just because they're trying to film a lot of stuff. So that's just what I think. And to go in there and say, oh, like, we will have things, but we have nothing to show you, because that I think is really probably more their reasoning, is that like, yeah, we have stuff that we're filming, but we have nothing to show right now. So I mean, it's just like, it doesn't make sense to go ahead and go into, I think they call it Hall H. It doesn't make sense to go into Hall H and be like, yeah, like we're gonna have a whole big press conference and eventually we'll be doing this stuff. I mean, you could do it with just slides and say like, oh, and these are the projects that we want to do over the next 5 years. But if there's not much behind it, that might not be enough to really get people excited or for them to accomplish what they want. So maybe their plan is to skip this year, get some stuff that they at least can make some teasers for, at least short teasers for, and then come back next year and just be able to say, hey, Marvel's coming up with a whole bunch of stuff that they're going to show in Hall H, for their upcoming projects. But we get a bunch of stuff that they didn't even know we were going to show, and so it's kind of like the whole competition thing, which is like.
So you think next year is going to be a player for both of them?
Maybe, because I mean, I think that really.
I don't think it'll be for Disney or Marvel at all, because they got D23. That's their big weekend event.
Yeah, well, all they can do is just say like, "Oh, we got these things coming." Like they could do probably more like the slideshow thing. But DC, if they actually if they take this year off because they're filming things, and then get something to make like just little small teases, even just snippets, like you had said earlier about like, oh, here's just Superman just flying, like they did for Man of Steel. Like if you could just have a scene that's fully done and rendered of him flying, or and just other for other properties, just like small things where like you kind of get a glimpse of a character, like that's all you need. Like you don't need really much of anything else. Like that's enough to get people excited to be like, oh wow, they're making a Superman movie. They're making what's that other team? Like let's say they do like the Legion of Superheroes. Like, oh my god, they're doing a Legion movie. I can't wait for that. Or they're doing a Legion show. That'll be cool. So it's just something. Anything to kind of get people's interest would be pretty cool. The texture of the logo is weird. Yeah, I think because they tried to make well, I mean, for me it's just that it's that Kingdom Come logo, and it really doesn't work in the yellow and red. It works in the darker colors because it was a darker story, and that's like kind of a. It's not, like I said, it's not quite that Superman logo that you grew up with. So it's because that story is a very dark story. So it's like it makes sense that Superman would wear something that's not quite representative of how you've seen him before, because he's not the same guy in that story. But it's definitely it's definitely one of those things where I think they try to make Superman's his outfit, his costume, more of like a battle armor, and it never really was
Mhm.
an armor before, which is basically just like it was just this is a Kryptonian suit that we have, and you grew into it. Here you go, now you can wear it. So that part of things, I do. I agree with that. Like where you can almost see like it's kind of like scaled together, almost like a chainmail. It's like he doesn't need all that. He's Superman. What does he need armor for?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to see. You know what I mean? Like some more stuff from it. I know they're
Yeah,
currently filming.
yeah, exactly.
I don't care for um not knowing a lot about it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot of
When does
stuff
it
I need
actually?
to.
Is it supposed to come out like next year or the year after?
I think it's actually this year.
This year? So later this year?
Yeah, I think it's. And the people in the chat can
Yeah.
help us, man.
Because I mean, obviously, if it comes out, this year, then I mean,
No, actually,
why?
no. It comes out. It comes out next year, July 11th of next
Okay,
year.
so that's kind of interesting because that's what right. I want to say right after San Diego, right? Or is it right? Is it right at the same time? Just because I mean, because if you think of it that way, I mean, they can release it for a full trailer, like the full final trailer right before the movie. I mean, I'm sure they would do that anyhow, but they could do it and then they could hold it off and be like, okay, depending on how close it is to like when the movie releases. So I would
Yeah,
say no later than May. Like if San Diego's in May, you could do that. But then again, I mean, you could also have it for like the Super Bowl too. I mean, the
yeah.
Super Bowl is a bigger draw.
So they're July 11th. I wanted to look this up because I remember this is Fantastic Four is actually 2 weeks after it,
Yeah. So that's going to be a big
and
deal. Just
they're both holding their dates. I think I want to say Fantastic Four had the date first.
yeah,
I think they had the date first, and I think James Gunn did that. It would still had a
yeah,
little ruffle feathers with DC or with Marvel. He probably did 2 weeks before.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but this could actually. I think if I was James Gunn, I would have tried to shoot for that July 4th weekend, which
yeah.
that's what I
Well,
would have shot
that can
for.
bite you in
But
the foot though, just because of the fact that or that can shoot you in the foot, I should say. Haha. So, and to answer Michael Bacon, no, we are a gun-free zone today. It's very nice.
yeah, I ain't
Uh,
gotta worry about that.
but no, that
Only have one, and it's locked up. And
yeah, no.
that's all I can say.
Um, that can backfire though, the 4th of July weekend, just because a lot of people go away for that. So while it would be cool to be like, oh yeah, we can do it for that 4th of July weekend. Um, you know, that's always kind of a roll of the dice. But I mean, the good thing that I would say with that is, doing it 2 weeks before um, Fantastic Four is smart, just because you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it just after, and you don't want to be competing directly with it. Like at least this gives you a little bit of time for people to come see that, because I have a feeling that Fantastic Four is going to draw a lot more, of a crowd than Superman will. As much as Superman is, a humongous character. I mean, it's DC's biggest. But the thing is, Fantastic
I
Four,
agree with
people have
you.
been waiting for that for the past like
Yeah,
15 years.
they've been waiting for a done correct Fantastic Four. This is the fourth or fifth Superman we're getting. I got a
Some
feeling. I got a feel. I hate man. People. I don't think. I don't know. I don't want to predict stuff this early, but I'm having not great feelings about it just because there's so many iterations we've had.
I think
And yeah, no, no.
it'll be.
Well, and I want it to be successful. Now, I'm not saying I don't. It's not that I want. I'm just. I don't know how it's going to
I think
play.
it will.
I think the opening weekend. I'll say like this. I think the opening weekend for Fantastic Four will be bigger than Superman.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so too. Just because, like you said, it's the first time to see it done right, and you can argue, whether or not Superman was done right. But like, I mean, unfortunately for Superman, I would say back in the day. I mean, that first Christopher Reeve Superman was a good movie, and in the '70s, it like blew people's minds because you never saw something like that. So it's to say, well, now we're doing it right. Like, well, they did it right way back, way back in the day. So there's not really much more right you can do with it. You can make it look better, but I mean, the first one, kind of set the stage for like what Superman should be and how it should be, the basics for it, I would say. But when it comes to Fantastic Four, though, I mean, the Fox ones, like the first one wasn't terrible. The second one they wasted Galactus, and then like the one they made after that just to keep the rights is just that it just wasn't good. So the next one is gonna be, I mean, this one to see it done right, to actually see, Marvel put a take on it that makes it, makes those characters stand out and makes you want to see them more. Is going to be what people go. It's going to be a make or break moment. I'll say that much. Like if that movie doesn't do well, if people just say, yeah, this movie sucks, that really will be trouble for Marvel, or for Disney and Marvel.
My question for Michael Baker: why? It's because like people look like they have people. There's like no middle of Pedro Pascal. It feels like it almost feels like LeBron type issue. It's like people love him or they hate him. And it's
I mean, I don't love the guy. I like him. I think he's good. But I think
I was like, why people have these type of comments against him? That's what I'm confused about.
You know why it's funny is because he came in and he was just he came in as Oberyn Martell. That's what I think how a lot of people saw him the very first time. He was Oberyn Martell. He was cool. He was standing up to Cersei Lannister and her being evil. And people like, oh, this guy's a hero. Like, I like this guy. He's a hero and this and that. Then he gets modded because his head's smashed by the mountain. And people are like, oh my God, like that, like they did him dirty. Like we want to see him in more stuff. He was cool, and then they saw him in more stuff and like, oh, we don't like him as much. Like you got to get past the fact that he's not. Who was he in? Like Wonder Woman 84, that wasn't a good showing for him. But Mandalorian,
that wasn't even. That's not his fault.
No, just the movie was terrible. Yeah, he was great in Game of Thrones. Not much. No, he was good in Narcos.
He was good in Narcos. He was good in Mando.
He I think will be a good character. I think it would be a good.
He was good in the Nicolas Cage movie. If you haven't seen that movie, if they see Nicolas Cage playing himself, he was good in that movie. And then a lot of people who love the video game, I haven't even watched it, The Last of Us. They said it was great.
He was good in Last of Us too. Yeah, he was good.
So I'm like, so if he was good to great in almost everything, I don't know what's up, Mr. Collector, my dog, the variant guy himself. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. He's been pretty. I would say his batting average, he would be a Hall of Famer.
I think in general he's done well. I think that where the backlash comes from for him is the casting of him as Mr. Fantastic. I think people really, really wanted what's it called? Jim from The Office. They were very like he looked great. He was the guy. He looked the part, and then he gets killed.
You can't get him. He's too busy. He loves directing.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
He's married to another famous wife. Their schedules do not.
But that's what people don't get.
Though. He probably turned it down more than anything, and people don't
look at it like that. They just look at it.
They don't want to hear that either.
Good. Like he was there, and you looked at it, and it was cool, and it could have been, like that was your Mr. Fantastic.
They added him for that what is it, Doctor Strange? They added him for that, and he only had 1 day free to do that part. One day, they had to fly him out and then fly him back because he was doing Jack Ryan. So he had to he couldn't even stay more than 1 day. Like that's how busy this dude is. People don't realize. Yeah. Like he's a writer, director, producer, and he does acting.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny is that a lot of people they won't see it that way. They're just like, they just didn't hire this guy because they didn't want to, and really it's a scheduling thing. But the other part too is it's just like you have Kang has the Council of Kangs, like if you read, I think it's the I think it started in like the Ultimate Universe, and then it kind of went over into the I think it's New Avengers or whatever it was. There's a council of Reeds, so he could end up coming back at some point and be like, oh, like I'm one of the Reeds, and this is what we do. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different things you can do with that, and because they've established a multiverse, there's
What's up, baby?
they have multiple instances. But
But to answer also to go with, um, I can't call a man what you called him, Michael. I've seen some videos of the guy, and it's like stuff he does off, and I didn't know he has bad anxiety, like very bad anxiety, because he was taking pictures doing red carpet with the girl from Last of Us.
yeah,
So he was taking pictures with her, and he was always taking his pictures with his hand on his chest. And she said, "Why are you taking pictures? Why do you take your pictures like that?" And he says, "This helps with my anxiety. Like he's like, this helps me keep my because I'm not good around lots of people, and I'm very anxious, and the anxiety is really bad." And she was like, "Oh wow!" And like like it was like a little to me. It was like a little moment that you have with people who are to me celebrities, and you're
yeah.
like wow, you're like this guy is actually a real person that actually has
Yeah.
issues like everybody else.
Well, Pacino used to be that way too. That's why a lot of what he does. That's why a lot of the look that he has. He's always just kind of like if you watch him in his old movies, he's a lot of the time he almost kind of he seems kind of like how Tupac was, where he's always kind of like just like looking around, just because he's like he was a nervous guy. Like he was actually I think more than anything he was kind of a shy guy. So it's just like and like no, but like he's this big loud guy in the movies. Yeah, that's not. He's just playing a character. Like in reality, like he just kind of like wanted to do the work and get out. Like he wasn't like a real social person. Like over time, he got to be more like that. But there's a lot of people that's like that, where it's just like
speaking of characters, Chris.
yeah.
What's your boy who said I need more cowbell? What's his
Will
name?
Ferrell.
No, not Will Ferrell. He did the cowbell.
Oh no. You're talking about Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. All right.
Yeah,
Side note, even he's in the trailer, so it's nothing to hide. Dune 2. This is really quick. It was very good. It wasn't the best thing it wasn't the best thing since sliced bread, but it was very, very good. But Christopher Walken being cast in that movie, every time I saw him, I kept hearing in my head, "I need more cowbell." I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I think that was that just threw me off.
Yeah.
His casting threw me off. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I don't go too deep into it. I don't know if you saw it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'll be honest with you. I don't know a lot about Dune. The only thing I've ever seen outside, I saw the first movie, and then I saw the first movie, like the most recent one, and then I saw a little bit of the very, very first one that had like Sting in it and stuff like that, like from the
80s.
Yeah, I saw maybe like 5 minutes of it, really, like when I was like a little kid. But I mean, I guess like it has a big following, and like I guess the like people like really like the books that are in with that series. So it's just like I think that if it keeps finding success and they keep doing it well, I guess just because I haven't heard anybody who complaining too much about it. But if they keep, I mean, that's one that they can just keep doing for a while. So you might, I guess for people who are fans of that, you want it to be, as successful as possible, so you can get as much of that story told as possible. Because I guess it's really it's got a lot of volumes of books and everything like that.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about the books. I'm just going by the movies. It is very good. It is the best thing I've ever seen, though. But everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinions on that. So like, I'm not gonna say somebody else if they say it's the best thing that they've ever seen. I'm not gonna discredit that. We're human and we all have our own opinions at the end of the day. But I'm not saying it's bad at all. I thought it was very good. Was it the best movie I've seen in 2024 and we're just getting into 2024? In my opinion, no. My best movie was One Love. That's my best movie I've seen.
I've only, I think, seen one movie so far this year. and that was the Von Erich movie. And I'll be honest with you, like it would be very hard to top the Von Erich movie.
Yeah, and see, I haven't seen that movie, so I can't put it in mind. You know, and that's the thing is kind of hurts that my wife's not into movies as much as I thought she was.
Yeah.
It's like I don't see as many as I can because I try to go see them right after work, and I only have like 3 hours to play with after work. So it's like I see what I can see. So I saw Dune. Luckily, I was able to see Dune. But like I saw, she wanted to see One Love by Marley, and I was happy, so I didn't have to like
like I want to see that. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it was very good, and it could have been a longer movie. This is my quick review about the One Love movie. It could have been a longer movie. It starts off in a part of his life. Well, it has flashbacks of him early on, but that's just to kind of show who he was and how he got really quickly, and then his introduction to his wife. But it started off in a certain point of his life that you don't get a lot of other stuff that he created. A lot of music he did. What's up, Guy Forge? Guy Forge is like it's like what's his name? Is it Lucian? Let it always pop up everywhere because Guy Forge pops up on everybody's thing. He says, "What's up?" I think he leaves a thumbs up and he jets, but it starts off at a certain point of his like the movie's not even 2 hours. I think I don't even think it's 2 hours. But it kind of it talks about his peace tour, I think, but it splashes through a lot of stuff and it skips a lot of stuff and a lot of his infidelity, and they kind of bypass all that. I mean, they talk about a little bit of it in like an argument he has with Rita, but it's a lot of stuff they skip around.
I mean, it's funny because Tebow kind of gave an interview of it too. I mean, not interview. He gave a review. I think he said the same thing. He said it could have been a longer movie and everything like that. But
it could have been
doing well though. I'll say that much. It's definitely doing well still because like when I looked, I just wanted to look it up and I figured usually if a movie's not doing so hot, there's only like a few show times. It still has like I looked for this weekend just to see, and it has I think like 4 or 5 showings throughout the weekend. Throughout like 4 or 5 showings a day for like Saturday.
I think Dune is the big thing that's out. I don't know anything else big is out. So it's gonna have legs for a little while because Dune's gonna get the Dune people or people who wants to see something new. And people who already seen Dune, if they want to be like, oh man, I'm hearing stuff about this Bob Marley, they might spill over and see Bob Marley. If you like music, go see it. If you like Bob Marley, go see it. If you just like a good movie, go see it.
The thing that's going to end up, I think, kind of swallowing that up a little bit is, or just cutting into a lot of things, is Kung Fu Panda's coming out too. I think
Bob Marley is not a kids movie, even though I think it is PG-13.
Yeah,
it's not a kids movie, so they don't have to worry about that. I think, Kung Fu Panda might take over the number 2 spot, but I think One Love will probably stay in the top 5, which is that movie's gonna end up making a lot of money, right? It's I don't think the budget was that high, So if you want to go see it in theater, I would say go see it while you can, because you're not gonna have the same experience of that type of movie at your house.
Yeah, I mean they have for Friday and I think Saturday, five. I
actually want, and I'll say this: I saw Dune, I saw One Love. I'm trying to think. I was supposed to see Beekeeper. I freaking fell asleep and I didn't get to go see that. But out of the 2 I've seen more recently, I want to see One Love again. And I saw Dune. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, I want to see Dune again." No, I don't need to see Dune again. I can wait till it comes on streaming, like it did on Netflix. But I want to see One Love again, and I actually probably gonna buy. If they have like a DVD box set that comes with music, I'm definitely getting that. I'm definitely getting that.
No, they I want to say that I'm pretty sure that that the Kung Fu Panda is gonna take over. As far and it'll be number 1 just because the fact is, you get a lot of kids that are gonna want to go see it. Like they always are. Like I was actually surprised by the very first one, they do a really good job with that movie, and it's just when it comes to it, like they get they have a really good cast for it, and Jack Black really does a good job with that character. So they always manage to put out a good movie on those. Like I would say when it comes to so a lot of people like, oh well, Despicable Me, that was like the big franchise. Kung Fu Panda blows that away. At least for me, in my opinion, like I think Kung Fu Panda out of the DreamWorks movies. I think after, because I'm pretty sure Shrek was DreamWorks. Shrek is number one
Shrek
old
is
movie. That's the
DreamWorks.
king.
Shrek is
Yeah,
DreamWorks.
and Kung Fu Panda is too. So Shrek is easily the number one DreamWorks project that's ever been. Number two, I would have to say is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda has always been very good.
I would say Kung Fu Panda and Despicable Me could be interchanged, depending on the
Yeah.
person. Depending on the
Yep.
person, those could be interchanged. I'm trying to think what else you got. Puss in Boots stuff was actually really good.
Yeah, well, I count that as being Shrek. So
Part of
Shrek
Shrek,
had
yeah, Shrek's umbrella.
Shrek was so popular that Puss in Boots did a spin off from it. But but Shrek is hands down easily the biggest movie that they had. Despicable Me, I know, is up there, but for me, I'm not a big fan.
That's why I said those could be interchangeable depending on the person you talk
and I
to.
mean you can't argue with it because Minions got their own movie just because of Despicable Me. But
yeah,
but Kung Fu Panda, I think is
and they did a prequel.
Yeah.
They did it's like they did Kung Fu Panda. I think got a TV show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then
Netflix
they didn't
special.
do a prequel or anything like that, but
but I know they got a TV show. I know they did that. But I mean, all in all, those are some good movies. The only thing is, I think I would say amongst kids, I would say Despicable Me is more popular because of the Minions. And the only reason I say that because of Universal, how they do their parks. I was like, they could have put Shrek, they could have put Kung Fu Panda. No, they got a Minions like area. They still probably got those characters, but you see more of the Minions. So yeah, it's just but like I said, to each their own. It's both good movies. But that'd probably be one I want to go see. But it just depends what's going on.
Yeah, I know the other, I guess, like movie type news that was come out was like people were talking about, like they released a picture of I think it's was it Bill Skarsgård as the Crow, and that had a lot of mixed review and everything like that. But the thing that I say like this, as much as and I understand why people are so protective of it being especially if it's gonna be the Eric Draven character that's the Crow, because there's been multiple Crows in the comic books. Like Eric Draven isn't just the one and only. It's more like it's almost like Ghost Rider, where it's the spirit of vengeance. Like somebody's done wrong, they get to come back with the powers of the Crow and right whatever wrong happened. But the thing is that people are protective of the Brandon Lee movie because of the fact that he died making that movie, and he did such a good job in that movie that they don't want to see someone else playing that character. And the thing is just that unfortunately the studios are going to look at it and say, well, there's money to be made, and it's a tragedy that he's gone, but
the first thing is, can we make money? We own this property. We're not doing anything with it. Can we make money? That's what they think. Yeah. That's what they look at.
And I mean, it's as much as people are like, no, there's no better time than now, just because superhero movies are still hot, even though they're kind of on a down. They're kind of in public opinion, people will be like, oh, they're down and not this and that. But it's a different kind of superhero movie that can thrive where people aren't looking for your conventional hero movie. So, and I think that I think that that's the other thing too. Like he doesn't quite look like, he looks more like he looks more akin to Jared Leto's Joker with all the tattoos and everything. So that's kind of different. But it's going to be a different movie. It's going to be a different experience. I think that I guess I would say wait for more information on it before you kind of make a judgment. Like if you can tell by if you look at the trailer and you're really turned off by that, then maybe don't see it. But
I'll say to answer this question, it's only going to shock people who are hardcore fans. People who have no idea what that movie is. No, I'm just people who have no idea what that movie is. They don't. It's not going to shock them. They're going to be like, why does he look like this? That's what's going to be.
As a kid, I didn't know what The Crow was. I had no idea it was a comic book movie. And then I remember, a friend of mine actually had it on VHS because I didn't go to the theaters to see it. I was little when that came out. I think that came out in like 1993 or something like that.
Honestly, I was 11. I think I was actually just thinking about that type of stuff. I think I was too young. I don't think I went to theaters to see Ninja Turtles because that came out in 1990.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that on the opening day. We went.
I don't think I did. I know I saw number 2. Number 2 came like 3 or 4 years later. And I know I saw number 3, which as a kid, number 3 was great.
Well, so the Crow movie that came out was it came out in 1994. So I know that I was 12 at that point. So I didn't see that movie. I was 12. Not because you can't just I didn't see it in theaters. Actually, it's funny. I had heard the soundtrack. I actually had the soundtrack before I had seen the movie because the soundtrack was awesome. Soundtrack was actually really, really good. And then I remember a friend of mine had it on video and I watched it and I was like, oh wow. And then he told me no, it's a comic book. See, and he actually had a couple of the comic books. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that.
Best movie soundtrack.
That's a hard one because it's there's so many different.
Mortal Kombat, not hard. Mortal Kombat. Movie sucked. Best soundtrack.
It had one song. It wasn't no fucking best ever. It had one song. Actually, you want to know what?
Actually, my favorite is actually the Black Panther, the first Black Panther. My favorite.
I would say
my favorite, not the best, but my favorite.
Yeah, a very underrated soundtrack. But a very good one was the Street Fighter soundtrack. Street Fighter soundtrack was if you were a hip hop fan, they had a lot of good songs on there. They had a lot of good artists. There's Ice Cube, Nas, I think it's Rascas, and was it? They had a bunch of people. I was like, dude, because it was is this a movie? Why'd they have so many hip hop artists on a Street Fighter movie? But they did, and it was really good. I was like, wow, I was surprised. And then I remember, you had a bunch of movies that just soundtracks used to be like what's helped sell a movie, what helped get people into them. Because Above the Rim had a great
soundtracks came out way before. Way before.
Yeah, and then you'd see snippets of the music videos with pieces of the movie in there, so people Regulators sold Above the Rim. You didn't even know what the hell that song had nothing to do with Above the Rim at all, but just in general, it was such a good song that everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that. Trying to think what other one. They had there's so many good soundtracks that were just like, wow. Even the second Crow movie soundtrack was really good, which was disappointing because the movie wasn't as good, but the soundtrack was really good. They had a bunch of different people in there. I want to say
that soundtrack probably was actually talked about for the second movie, probably during the film of the first one. That's probably why it was so good. I'm just saying that's probably why it was so good because they probably had that already in the works for the second movie, and then all that happened,
Well, yeah, and they used to go all out. Like Friday's soundtrack. The Friday soundtrack was incredible. That
was back in the day. A lot of the movie soundtracks they went all out.
Yeah,
like I said, I would say the last one I thought that was probably very, very good. This is not too long ago because I just said the name of it was the Black Panther one. The reason why I say that was probably the last best one. And the reason why I say that is because they had a lot of, like I said, a lot of big artists.
Yes, Judgment.
Had Kendrick Lamar be the producer, and he did a lot of songs. And I want to say at least 7 songs out of that soundtrack were on the top 100. And it was a soundtrack. Yeah, I thought it was like a regular, his regular music or other people's regular music. No, that was from the soundtrack.
Well, then you also had the other another soundtrack that was big, that was good like that was the Straight Outta Compton soundtrack was crazy.
Oh yeah, Straight Outta Compton, and I think Guardians won.
Yeah, because they put so much emphasis on the music. And then another one that was really good was 8 Mile. So 8 Mile's initial soundtrack was good, but then they like music from 8 Mile. So it was like, oh, you had this, and then you had all the songs, or not all, but a lot of the songs that they just played throughout the movie. So it's just like like I remember watching it because it's like
Yeah,
I wasn't the biggest
I would
Eminem
say
fan.
like all the ones were named, and that was the last era. I would say of good
Oh
movie
yeah, I mean,
soundtrack.
like they used to like. I mean, I remember like if you were if you listen to hip hop back in like I would say in the '90s at least, and and you read the Source magazine, like you knew it was coming out, and it's just like I mean, Sam Goody's used to be like a store that you can go to, and they used to have the little like headphone setups and everything, and then like they had everything, so you sit there and just like I mean, I would just go in and read the Source, like oh, this movie's coming out, this soundtrack's gonna be crazy, like oh, here's a track listening for the soundtrack in the magazine, and that's all you would do. It's like it was just one of those things where me and my friends would just be sitting there like we used to sit there and just kind of just get different CDs and be like, oh, like, can I borrow this? I'll let you borrow that. You know what I mean? And just because everybody, like they used to really go all out on the soundtracks. But I think that you know, it would be nice to see them do that again. The only problem is that like music doesn't exist in that same kind of format where you're gonna go with a store and buy a CD. Like you're gonna go on Spotify and then just add songs to a list and stuff like that. So that's
Because
that's a
they're getting
different.
away from they're getting away from physical media. So
Yeah,
doing a soundtrack, it's almost like doing a couple of songs. They probably just have
yeah.
a couple of songs.
The Judgment Night
Because I can
soundtrack.
tell you, it was hard as heck finding the Black Panther soundtrack CD when I was out there looking for it. Like
Yeah,
I went to like 3 different Best Buy and I couldn't find it. And I
that
finally
that
found
I,
one.
I would just go straight to Amazon for stuff like that. Like, no, I'm gonna go on
Yeah.
Amazon. Right there.
But that was before, like, because on that movie, I mean, Amazon was still popular, but I wasn't using Amazon probably as heavy as I would use it now. But
The other
looking for stuff, that's the first. Amazon is like I look for stuff now. First thing I look at, and then I'll go to the store see
thing,
what's cheaper at the store.
yeah. I actually like that Michael Baker brought up the Judgment Night soundtrack. Judgment Night soundtrack was actually like one of those really like cool soundtracks where it's like they got rock bands and rappers to be like to kind of get together and make music together. So they had a bunch of like just different people just doing different songs together. So they had like it was kind of like if you've ever heard Bring the Noise, where they do there's the Anthrax version where it's like guitars and stuff, and it's Anthrax and Public Enemy, but then it's like you had was it Onyx and Biohazard like did a song together, and you sit there and make Biohazard, but it's a great song. It's just like because Onyx just has that like Onyx has that rah rah tone, and they all have those raspy voices, so it goes good with guitars like that. It's like, oh wow, and there's been a lot of that. Like a lot of people have kind of done that crossover type stuff, where it's just like you have these really good hard sounding songs, and it's just like and it kind of bridges the gap between two mediums like that. So it's pretty
I got a
cool.
question. I know you haven't seen it, but I got a question for the chat. Because I've seen it, and I'm not gonna go like spoiler, but Avatar got option for season 2 and 3 for Netflix, so we're getting 2 more seasons. I don't know about the chat. The chat, let me know what you guys think of that announcement. To kind
No,
of
you're
go on
talking
the
about
sidebar
Avatar.
on
You
that.
talking about the blue people, or are you talking about the Last Airbender?
That last Airbender, Avatar, the last
Oh,
Airbender.
okay. See, now here's the problem with this, because the Last Airbender came out. I was too old for that show. I knew that going in, so it's like I can't deal with this. And I remember I avoided Naruto for the same reason, because I was like, oh, I think this is like a little kiddie show. Lo and behold, Naruto was not a little kid show. Like it was actually like more adult oriented. The further in that you went, and it wasn't like super deep into it, but like that one was like more for adults. Like they had like or young adults. I say young adults into adults, because they had just stories that had a lot of like different content. Like was like you had people dying and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. But that the Last Airbender, I never got into, because I was like, this seems to be like too little, but because it was on Nickelodeon and all the rest of that jazz. So it was like I was way too old for that show. So I like
I'll say this: it's not a little kid show. I mean, um, they basically show a whole tribe get massacred. So it's not for it's not a little kid show, but it's not a bloody boy show.
yeah.
But people getting killed. I mean, they showed one of the Fire Lord's son. He burns his face, like,
Yeah.
like so. Michael Baker, he says, "I haven't seen it. Should I? Yes. I'll just answer it. Yes. I enjoyed it. I'm not a Last Airbender, Avatar Last Airbender, like person that's like a follower and he did stuff differently. And I'm arguing with. I'm not that type. I'm like a fresh eyes because I remember it, the cartoon, but I didn't watch the cartoon. I'm like Chris. I'm literally a year younger than Chris, so it's like kind of like out of my wheelhouse at the time. Same thing with kind of like with Power Rangers. Power Rangers came out. I was a little too old, but I would definitely say check it out. I would say give it a few. Like the first episode I enjoyed. Trying to think, maybe it was the second or third episode. I think it was the third episode. But it's a lot of. I enjoyed it. If you're not a hardcore person of the original Mike, which I don't think you are, because you would have watched it already. I would say, check it out. I would say check it out. He's still trying to finish Invincible. I mean, you gotta finish that. I'd finish that every day it came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new stuff, but like the first season I saw, it was great.
Part 2 of season 2, part 1 of season 2. I've seen that, but I would definitely check it out. What's up, K-pop? What's going on? But I would definitely recommend it. I mean, it's a reason why it's getting 2 more seasons. Not saying it's the best thing ever that you're ever going to see, but it's actually really good. And to try to, if you can remember the thing that M. Night Shyamalan tried to put out, you see the live action TV show. I'm saying TV show because it's on streaming, but it is a TV show.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, how can this guy do this in a movie? That's what you kind of like. When you look at that, you're like, come on. That's why I like, M. Night Shyamalan is like, man, I don't know what to say about that guy.
Well, M. Night Shyamalan,
he has another movie that's actually coming out, and I saw a trailer for it. And I'm actually curious, but
I used to give him a very hard time on things, and I kind of like eased off of him just because he knows he's terrible. So it's just like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, because I used to call him M. Night Suckmalon all the time. Like, M. Night Suckmalon, all he does is make bad movies. Because the thing was, is that like his problem was that he came out very, very strong. Sixth Sense, people like loved it, and then Unbreakable is also really good too.
Sounds like the guy from District 9. Huh?
His problem was that I think was that he got so involved in making everything have a twist that like some of the stuff that he made just didn't make much sense, and it just got stupid. I was like, dude, like what's the twist with this movie? This movie sucks. And so like that kind of became his
didn't he do the Cabin one with Batista?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
A 50-50 he did it. I think they didn't advertise him as doing it.
Yeah.
And it was very good. I'm gonna say I seen that one. That was one of those when I go see by myself.
He might have been like a producer.
It was very good, dude. It was very, very
more than anything else. But like, I know that like I know like he did that other movie. I don't remember. I don't think it was The Fog. It was something else where like basically the plants had taken their revenge, and like they put out these like spores into the atmosphere that like made humans like kill themselves and stuff. So there's a guy who was like mowing a lawn. Oh, he's on a riding mower, and then he just like lays down and lets it roll over him because the plants wanted him to die. And I was like, well, that's stupid. No.
Oh, you talking about
he made that movie, The Village.
The Cabin one? No. You talking about The Village? Yeah, but the Cabin one is basically like they think the world's gonna end, and these people have to do. I don't want to tell it because it was actually good in my opinion.
I don't know if he, like. I mean, I have no idea if he.
It was good, but it was just kind of it was out there. But and you still question yourself, like, was it real? What was going on? Like, you don't even know.
After
watching it and Knock on the Cabin, I'm still kind of confused with it. I'll have to watch it again. But Michael Baker, I think it does look good. I'm just gonna say I think it looks good.
So he did direct it. The Knock on the Cabin, he directed.
Yeah, and I think they did well. I think, and they didn't advertise it as his movie.
That's because if you say his name's on it, like I'm telling you, the stink of the movies he's made that have been terrible always goes on to the next one. So it's just like people don't go in with an open mind to his movies. They're like, oh, these are gonna be stupid.
Yeah, but people want to see it, and they kept saying Batista. Like, golly, Batista has gotten You know, like this is that movie that I'm talking Knock at the Cabin is, and I it's hard to say because The Rock is not like he's not um like what's his name like he's not the like an Oscar winner actor, but that movie that Batista did, they said, "Dang, is Batista a better actor than The Rock now?" Like that's how good a movie he did that movie. So
Yeah.
yeah, and but The Rock did a couple of really good movies that a lot of people haven't seen, and I always tell people to go check out Snitch and I forgot the other one, Faster. I think it's Faster and Snitch.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
couple of really good acting.
the thing that I think a lot of people don't like you can't always attach, like you can't always look at it like, oh well, see, the best actors win all the Oscars, that's what, and it's just like, okay, like you know, people win Oscars and everything like that, but like I mean, there's plenty of actors that have been the biggest actors in the world that have never won an Oscar. Like what's it called, Schwarzenegger hasn't won an Oscar for anything, you know what I mean? And he was the biggest actor in the world for like a decade. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's just like, if you do something that's Oscar worthy, I mean, it's a big deal. It's just like, it just like how, like I said before, like I am not a fan of Angela Bassett. Like I don't hate her. I just never really been a fan of her work, but like she was really, really good in Black Panther 2. And I think that she could have easily won the Best Supporting Actress or Best Supporting Actor, and she didn't, because I think that when it comes down to that, Hollywood doesn't want to give, an Oscar to a superhero movie.
To a live person who's alive. Let's say it like that.
Well, that's
Who's
the thing.
a
It's
superhero
like,
movie. A person
yeah.
who's alive. If Angela Bassett would have died, she probably would have got it. But
Well, the thing is that, like, just because it legitimizes it, and a lot of the people who go against it, like the Martin Scorsese's and all these other guys that have won Oscars for their, as directors for their movies, like they don't want to piss those guys off, and it's just like, but she did a good job. Like, what do you want to say about it?
and I hate to say it, I tried to watch Everything Always. What is it? Everything Always. I don't even know the doggone name of that movie. I tried to watch it. Well, I could not get into that movie.
Well,
oh my god! And I couldn't understand why Jamie Lee Curtis won an Oscar. I was just like,
because it was easy.
It was easy because they gave all the other people Oscars, so they just gave it to her too.
But, well, no, she had one before that. Like she won an Oscar prior to that too. Like it's just like, but she was the easy choice. Like, yeah. I'm almost positive she's won one before that.
I thought that was her first Oscar because her speech made it sound like that was her first Oscar. The thing is, that was going to be Angela Bassett's first Oscar too. People forget that. People think a lot of people think she Angela Bassett won for With Love Got to Do It, and she didn't.
No, she didn't. I remember that, but I mean,
so,
I think
that's why a lot of people were banking. I mean, the betting. I'll put it like this: the betting was minus something on Angela Bassett, and it was like a high plus, like I think 2,000. It was something plus. It was high crazy. It was high. It was high pluses on everybody else. It was kind of crazy.
Hold on. Oh, so that was her first Oscar. Like she
I thought it was her first Oscar because her speech. In her speech, she said,
that's where I made a mistake. So she won the Golden Globe for True Lies.
Yeah, I know that was her first Oscar. She said a speech saying we're here, Mom, or something. She was, I don't know if it was Dad or Mom, but her speech was like basically saying we made it or something like that.
Yeah, she's the daughter of was it Janet Leigh is and Tony Curtis. So her parents were both famous actors.
Yeah, and I think it's like I don't think they ever won an Oscar. So it was like she was like
no. Tony Curtis was more of a funny, like he was more of a comedic role. So like he was in The Odd Couple. But he wasn't. Unfortunately, sometimes there's a lot of people. That's the thing too. Is that's why you can't just measure like, oh well, people that win Oscars are the ones you like. Dude, it is so like the group of Oscar winners versus the huge pool of actors is like the same as people that like get picked to play a professional sport. It is such a shallow pool of people that it's just like like you can't say that the only good athletes are these ones. It's just like no, the only I mean there's plenty of good actors out there, but like not everything is nominated. But this person could have done a great job, and it's just a tough thing to see. I mean, that's why you don't look at it like that. And that's why I say like a lot of times, the biggest actors in the world can be guys that never, guys and women that have never won an Oscar ever. It's just like they just they put out movies that make lots of money. Like I don't think that I don't think that Vin Diesel has ever won an Oscar for anything. However, and I don't think he ever will. But he's been in like one of the highest grossing franchises of all time. Like, so I mean, it's just like for him, he's one of the top movie stars in the world, and you'd be like, really like Vin Diesel doesn't seem like he's that big of an actor. Like Fast, and then Guardians and stuff like that. Like they made money, and that the guy's just banking off of that stuff because he's
And,
you know
and
the
I
right
hate
place
to
at the right
say it,
time.
it's like I don't know what he got. We could probably look up what he got paid for Guardians, but yeah, he got paid that much to say I am Groot in different tones.
Yeah,
It's probably at least a couple million at the minimum.
yeah,
So that just tells you, yeah, that dude like is good.
yeah.
But
He's a big time guy. Like a lot of people.
so I got a question. You can answer this. So I'm thinking about it, not 100%. Where is my stuff? So Marissa Tomei will be at Dallas Fan Expo. They
Yeah.
announced. As you know, she was in Spider-Man:
Uh,
Homecoming and Captain America: not Captain Winter, Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
So my question is this, and I'll do this so you can see what I'm talking about. Thinking about getting her to sign something, which I don't. It's not a comic, and all the reason is because I have some of the other actors.
Oh yeah. Why not?
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I think she'll be more affordable. She might still be $100, but I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
no.
getting her to sign it because I got Anthony and I think is it Joe Russo? Anthony,
Yeah, the
Anthony
Russo brothers.
the Russo brothers. I got them to sign it. Got Anthony Mack and he signed Falcon. I got Frank Gallo, Crossbones. Chris Evans was there. I didn't see in my right mind paying $250 to get him to sign this, and this is back in the day when this came out. So you talking about way
Yeah.
back then? It was $250. I couldn't crack my mind of getting him to sign it for $250.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Robert Downey Jr. I probably never will meet as well. He's probably more accessible than Robert Downey Jr., but it's
Yeah.
going to be like about $250 to $500 to get him to sign something. I still don't
Yeah.
see it. So I'm thinking about getting like if I can get some of these side characters. Like even your boy plays Ant-Man if he's ever at a convention I'm at. So I think it'd be cool to add a lot of the side characters. So
Yeah,
I
would get that. Just because
I guess I'll have to see whenever her price guy comes out. If it's if it's around 100, I'll probably do it. I just have to budget it. But I have to.
Well,
the crazy thing is, I need to bring this with me to Dallas.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
On an airplane. On an airplane.
Well, that I would say if you get like a portfolio,
I could put it in my luggage though.
You could do that, or you could put it in like an art portfolio thing, and then just put that in like luggage. That's easy, like just because that way you can slide it in easy with no problem. But yeah, I would do that just because I mean, as far as anything comic related, there's really not. I mean, I wouldn't have us sign a random Spider-Man book, with Aunt May on the cover, not like that, because that'd be kind of weird. So I don't think there's a problem with that. Like I could definitely see like that as being probably the most logical thing to have her sign, outside of like a picture of herself from one of her movies or something.
Yeah. I don't know that Michael Bay said my cousin's minute, but I was thinking about getting that sign just because I can add to it.
You know what I would say if you had it, and the only other thing I would say maybe have her sign if you didn't have that would be get a copy of the DVD and have her sign have her sign like the DVD or something like that. Like always have her sign like the case of the DVD.
Yeah, if I didn't have this, I would probably say something like that. But I think this would be cooler just for good. And then this was given to me free. This is like the poster. Mm-hmm. The Russo brothers came to New Orleans. It was actually in Wizard World at the time. And they were giving these away for free and doing free signings. So
Yeah.
I stood in line. I wasn't like first, but I was pretty. I didn't have nothing else to do, so I just stood in
Yeah.
line, met them. They were super nice, and that's how I end up getting that. So yeah, that's. I'll probably end up doing it depending on price. You know, if she's like $200, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
But
You know what? Here's another thing that she was in that like a lot of people may or may not know. She was in the very first season of A Different World. So it's just like, and it's funny because like you wouldn't expect her to be on that show just because it was supposed to be about a historically black college. So it's just like, oh, she was one of Denise Huxtable's roommates in the first season. She was her roommate Maggie, and I was because I remember they do a lot of reruns and stuff. And so I was watching. I was like, oh my god, it's like that's Marissa Tomei. Like well, she was on a television show for a while. Like because it was like she wasn't like a big known actor at that point. This is like I think right before My Cousin Vinny, and then she ended up getting My Cousin Vinny, and then
won an Oscar, and that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Because it's just but like all she had to do was play herself because she's from New York. She's just like she's like so you just want me to play like all right, you got Joe Pesci who's gonna play himself pretty much, being a kid from New York or whatever like that, and then you want me to do the same thing? Oh, I can do that, and she just came out there and just killed it, like Michael Baker said. She really did a good job.
Well, upset that they killed her off, but hopefully they bring her back in the multiverse.
She I think that's actually not a bad way to have things go. Just because the fact is, Aunt May dies in the comics. I think at least I know she dies at least once, and I think she probably dies more than once throughout comic history. But it's just like it wasn't. It's not a bad choice to have her go instead of rehashing and doing the same old Uncle Ben story over and over again. So it's like and it really brought weight to that whole scene. I was like, oh wow, she's not gonna make it. Like Aunt May's gonna die in this. Like this is sad. But that's what helped kind of give Spider-Man his stripes of being just a good character. So and because you don't like he didn't have a lot of that. He didn't have a lot of the like. You had you can argue that Tony Stark dying is basically his Uncle Ben dying, and then he loses Aunt May, because in the comic books, like Spider-Man's life isn't all well and good. Like he's got a lot of tragedy in his life that makes his life kind of shitty. So it's if they bring her back, I guess it'd be cool. But then again, it's just like they don't have to, because it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens when all this multiverse stuff kind of settles down when they're done
finishes out. Yeah.
Just because it's like what stays and what doesn't, like what's actually now gonna be canon for the MCU versus everything that's kind of been taken away from it. So I think that one of the things that they should do is you can use the comics as source material, absolutely, and go through the old stories and tell those. That'd be cool. But I don't think that the comic should follow suit with they shouldn't retcon things for comics to kind of match what's going on with the MCU. Like that I think is kind of a mistake, because you know what, keep that separate, because that way at least you can go a different direction in the MCU than you would in the comics. That doesn't necessarily have to hurt anything in someone big. And I understand where they're coming from, where it's like if you look at it, I guess maybe that's why they don't get a lot of people hooked in the comics, because it's like, all right, I watch this movie and then I go and read the comic and it's a completely fucking different story and I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna put this comic down and just keep watching these movies. I understand what's happening in the movies. The comics, I have no idea. Like I went to go watch the Avengers and I go and read the Avengers. It's a whole new group of people and I don't have any idea who they actually are. So I get that, but I think that keeping those kind of separate is a good idea. So but like I say, I am interested to see where that all goes. I saw a rumor. I don't know how true it is that the Fantastic Four movie is going to introduce. They said it's going to introduce Doom, Surfer, and Galactus in the same movie. And I was like, that is extremely ambitious, and I can't see that happening because of how big those characters are.
They're talking so much about. I'm hoping they take it slow. I'm hoping we get some monsters that seep through like the multiverse, and they got to fight like some monsters and maybe a mole man or something. I want to
Yeah,
see
because
something.
it's
I just
like
want to see
if
something out
you
there, bro. We ain't got to go straight. Oh man,
no,
we're on Silver Surfer. Oh, we gotta get the light. I don't, man.
yeah, because it's just like if you do that, then you're just recreating the Fox movies. Really, it's just like you had Doom, and then you had or you had Doom, Silver Surfer, and a cosmic hurricane named Galactus, because that wasn't Galactus. The only thing that you saw Galactus was a shadow. What showed up on Earth to try to eat it was just a galactic rainstorm, and nobody cared. But I mean, yeah, like space it out. Give it some time, because I mean, it's just like you can't just put every in one movie like introduce or even innuendo that like Galactus even exists. Like you should like he should be further down the road. It's just like I mean, I even think that like it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have them not face off against Doom. Like you could mention like you could have Reed mention like yeah like it's kind of just kind of funny. I could use a mind like Victor's right now to try to help me figure this problem out, and maybe he doesn't know that Victor is evil. Like at that point, like that makes sense too. But it's like take your time telling these stories, just because I mean, in the end of it all, if you do it successfully, Fantastic Four will reboot and rejuvenate people's interest in watching those movies.
And guess what? In Marvel, you don't have to kill every bad guy. So just throwing that out there.
No.
Whenever you do Doctor Doom, you don't have to kill every character.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of cool to have something, somebody menacing in another country or their own country, and kind of like you just gotta watch them, Plus, I want to see that Luke Cage scene with Luke Cage getting mad at Doom for not paying him his $200. I want to see that.
wow. I don't know if you'll ever get that, but I will say,
it'd be hilarious though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. See, that is kind of a weird thing. So I don't really know if they'd have the foresight to really not kill him off, just because the fact is, like they love killing off the villains. They just it's what they do, and it's like I mean, some people get defeated and move on to other things, but for the most part, it's just like there's not many that just don't die.
It's only one. Well, I don't. Well, High Evolutionary, they didn't show him dying, so that's one.
No, he didn't die.
And Thanos didn't die technically.
Thanos got
snapped, so he's not dead though. He's in another realm or whatever you want to say. So it's only a couple of, but a lot of people, they're dead. No, they're not dead. Like Thanos could get brought back, and he could be chasing after death or something. You know what I mean? Since he kind of died.
That's the thing.
Thanos quest.
That's what you do. Like if you really want to make like Thanos fans happy, you give him a resurrection and have Lady Death be the one that does it. So that way he's just like, oh my god, you do like, so he can have a Steve Urkel moment. See, I know you love me. It's like, no, I don't, not at all. But it's just I know that you're gonna try to bring forth what I want, which is to wipe out all the life. So if you're gonna do that, great. Like I'll bring you back. But if you don't, if you don't get this done, then I'm not gonna be with you. But everybody knows that it's never gonna happen. She's just using him to, make him, feel.
And plus, good. I don't know how death is.
I think their problem is that
in the Chinese culture. Let me say it like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that like overseas and other places. I mean, I know that like they have a lot of stuff like where they do revere that. So I don't think it's necessarily I don't think it's necessarily a thing that they don't embrace at all. I don't think it's not something that they would just straight up ban. I think the problem that they would have with it potentially would be that it's a woman. Because I think having it be a that entity be a woman might be what rubs them the wrong way. So,
but I the stories. Look, slow it down.
And that's what I say too. I don't think that you could actually really do everything that was in that the thing that I read that was rumored. You can't possibly do that all in one movie. Like the movie would have to be like 5 hours long. It's just not going to work.
Have to be like more than that even. But I don't want to go too long. We've been at this for almost an hour and a half.
Yep.
I think we talked about everything we wanted to talk about, even other stuff that we didn't, But before I go, like I said, last chance on this show. But I'm gonna be giving these away, and you can win them for $2. So you got the first Shuri, Kevin Eastman signed. If anybody gets stuff signed by Kevin Eastman, he charges more than $2. I'm just going to throw that out there. And this is actually triple signed. But you get both of these books, $2 at the minimum for a super chat. You can actually win them. I had people win with one entry. Robert Galvin run something with one entry on another giveaway and stuff like that. So yeah, $2 super chat, or you could hit me up on IG, Cash App, and I'll write you name now like I got these others right here. But yeah, that's all I got. Friday we have the hunt, so check out the hunt Friday. I don't think I will be selling. I don't think I'm going to be on any auctions this weekend. I think I'll take another kind of little break, but I will be trying to sell on Instagram myself. Some of the bigger books. I only have maybe 6, half a dozen bigger books that I'm gonna try to sell. Maybe a few raw books. So, but it's not gonna be. I'm probably gonna let it stay up on Instagram. So I'll probably be up there with some books that I currently have listed with Elite Comics 11. So check that out when I go live on Instagram. So that's all I have going on. Chris, you got anything going on? I know you're gonna be on a hunt. Are you gonna record a video for your pickups? Have it recorded for later?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Am I gonna be able to see one of the books I've seen already in a graded form?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
After the show.
And I just wanted to. So for Bleeker said, so for 34. No, and then this is a book that
Michael Baker said. Yeah, Michael Baker said Surf for 34.
It was number 44.
Oh, 44.
Oh, sorry, Michael Baker. Michael Baker was number 44, and I know this because I characterized him in 34, but 44 is the first Infinity Gauntlet. This is one of the books I picked up on the comic crawl that I found. On there, it's just just a great pickup. But the good thing about that crawl is that I did get a lot of I think good stuff that that I'll be looking to kind of organize and sell and stuff when the time comes. So
yeah, should be next in a few weeks. Yeah, in a few weeks we'll be doing one on Bleach channel. So you will be on there. I'm putting a thing in the chat. If somebody, I'll probably be a little off air. If anybody wants, I'm going to open up some books. I was going to do a haul and show the haul, but I don't feel like doing it, and I don't feel like doing a video for it. So, Bleak, if you want to join K-pop, just talk off air. You're more than welcome to.
But did you know that yesterday was K-pop's birthday?
I did not know that. So happy birthday!
Yeah, it was birthday. She had a birthday stream and everything.
I didn't know that.
And you know that. So I thought that K-pop was younger than us. She's actually older than me. I was like, wow. I was like,
she said it a couple times on other channels, and I knew she was older than us. That's why I jokingly said I think a few times that I was the youngest on streams. like when Bleak had church, I think one time, and I popped on there. And this is before, because I don't know Biggie's age, but I know I was the youngest person on the stream, which is funny because it's not like I'm 30, I'm 40. So
yeah, I'm not sure how old Biggie is. I would say I would assume that he is around the same age as you, but I mean, maybe he's younger. He could be younger. You never know.
Say that to my face. I put the link in the chat. How you like that? I'm just messing around, please. But yeah, I gotta wake up early, so that's why I want to get off of this.
Yeah,
but I'll chat a little bit. I'll chat a little bit. If somebody joins, I will chat a few minutes off air while I unbox this stuff I got from Sands. So
tomorrow's my early day too. We have to actually be in office tomorrow. So it's like
I'm going to eat lunch with my daughter. So yay!
Oh, well, you have a much better reason.
I actually am excited. I don't know what we're gonna get for lunch because I could bring some lunch. I'm feeling pizza. She wanted Popeye's chicken. I want Popeye's chicken, but we're gonna talk it out. So, but this has been Graphic Content episode 24. Like I said before, if you ever want to join and have a discussion with us, we always welcome people that we especially talked to many of times. But yeah, definitely come join us. It's always a fun. And like I said, if you watch this on the rewind, thank you. Um, and like I said, I have some haul videos as well later on. But let's get out of here, man. Peace. See you guys.